There is a moment, and you know the exact one I mean, where you are standing in your kitchen at 9 at night, and some part of you is watching yourself open the cabinet. You are not hungry. You know you are not hungry, and you open it anyway. For years, we have been told that moment is a discipline problem. It is not. That moment has a neurological signature. It has a sequence. Researchers have watched it happen inside the brain, and what they found is that under sustained stress, the part of your brain responsible for deliberate choice tends to go quiet, while the part that hunts for fast relief gets louder. So today we are going to map that loop. Where it starts, what fires, why the logic drops out, and what the research suggests actually interrupts it. Because you cannot rewire a system you cannot see. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the STARR Wellness Solutions channel. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful, evidence-based content designed to improve your health, strengthen your mindset, and support you on your wellness journey. By subscribing, you also become part of a growing community committed to healing, transformation, and lasting well-being. Thank you for being here. And remember, consistency beats intensity. Hi, I'm Ido Estelle. I am a registered nurse, and I teach the STARR alignment method. 3 pillars: move, regulate, identity. Regulate is everything that governs the signals your body is sending you. Your hormones, what you eat, your nervous system. Today lives almost entirely there because emotional eating is not primarily a food problem. It is a regulation problem that shows up at the refrigerator. One thing before we go in. Nothing here is medical advice and nothing here is a diagnosis. If what you are experiencing includes eating past the point of discomfort, secrecy around food, or distress that has taken over your day, that deserves real clinical support, not a video. I will put resources in the description. Everything else I share. Take what serves you and leave the rest. Let's start with the food itself, because the deck is stacked before you ever get to the emotional part. In 2019, researchers at the National Institutes of Health ran something rare in nutrition science, a controlled inpatient study where participants lived in a research facility and every bite was measured. 2 diets matched for sugar, fat, fiber, and sodium. One built from minimally processed foods, one from ultra-processed foods. Participants could eat as much as they wanted. On the ultra-processed diet, people ate roughly 500 more calories per day. Same nutrients on paper. Same access. They just ate more and they gained weight over the 2 weeks. Nobody in that study had a willpower deficit. The food was doing something. Part of what it is doing involves dopamine, and here is where most explanations get it wrong. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That is a pop science oversimplification. Decades of work from Kent Berridge and Terry Robinson at Michigan separated 2 systems that feel identical from the inside, but are not the same at all. There is liking, the actual enjoyment, and there is wanting, the pull, the pursuit, the anticipation. Dopamine drives the wanting, which explains something you have probably experienced and felt confused by. You wanted it desperately. You ate it. And it was fine, not transcendent, not worth the 20 minutes of negotiating with yourself. That gap between how badly you wanted it and how little it delivered is not a personal failure. That is the wanting system and the liking system coming apart. And researchers have documented that they can be pulled apart in exactly this way. Foods engineered to hit sugar, fat, and salt in combination in a fast-absorbing form tend to produce a stronger anticipatory pull than foods in their whole form. Analysis of which foods people most often report losing control around consistently points to the same profile. Highly processed, high glycemic load, fat, and refined carbohydrate together. Now, I want to be careful here. Whether this qualifies as addiction in the clinical sense, is still actively debated among researchers, and I am not going to overstate it. What is far less controversial is the simpler version. These foods are unusually good at generating wanting, and wanting is what shows up at 9 at night. Stress changes which part of your brain is driving. Your prefrontal cortex sits behind your forehead. It handles the things that feel like you, planning ahead, weighing consequences, overriding an impulse, holding a goal in mind when something more immediate is shouting. Amy Arnstein's research at Yale has shown that this region is unusually fragile under stress. Even brief, uncontrollable stress triggers a chemical cascade that rapidly weakens prefrontal signaling while at the same time strengthening the older, faster, more reflexive circuits deeper in the brain. Listen to that again, in plain terms. Stress does not make us less intelligent. It temporarily shifts which parts of our brain are in control. It takes the slow, deliberate system offline and hands the wheel to the fast, habitual one. And under chronic stress, this goes structural. Studies have found that prolonged stress is associated with measurable changes in prefrontal architecture and reduced function in the attention networks that depend on it. Here is the part I find genuinely hopeful, and I want you to hold on to it. In one study of medical students under sustained exam stress, researchers found disrupted prefrontal network connectivity during the high stress period and then rescanned them a month after the stress ended. The disruption had largely reversed. It was not damage. It was a states change. So layer this together. Chronic stress tends to quiet the system that would have said, not tonight. Elevated cortisol has been associated in laboratory studies with increased intake of sweet, energy-dense food, particularly in people whose cortisol responds strongly to stress. And research on what gets called comfort food suggests something uncomfortable. Eating those foods may actually dampen the stress response in the short term, which means the loop is not irrational. It works. That is precisely the problem. Emotional eating is not one moment. It is 5, and they happen fast enough to feel like one. You cannot interrupt a wave you experience as undifferentiated. Here's the cue. Something fires. A deadline. A text from a specific person. Silence after a loud day. The particular quality of 6:30 in the evening when everyone finally wants something from you. The cue is rarely hunger. Craving. The wanting system activates. Not for food generally, for a specific food in a specific form. Nobody stress eats plain lentils. The specificity is diagnostic. Response. You eat relief. And here's the hinge. The relief is real, physiologically real. This is not imagination. Reinforcement. Your brain files it. That worked. Do it faster next time. Every repetition shortens the gap between cue and response. Eventually, cue and craving fuse into a single event, and it stops feeling like a decision at all, which is exactly what you have been describing to yourself as weakness. It is not weakness. It is efficiency. Your brain learned the fastest available route to relief, and it learned it well. The intervention point is one specific place in that chain, the space between craving and response. That is the only door. Everything else is downstream. 4 interventions. Each one targets a different point in the loop, and each one has research behind it. 1. Name it before you touch it. When you feel the pull, say the emotion out loud or write it down. Not, I want chips. The layer underneath, I am overwhelmed. I am lonely. I am furious, and I have nowhere to put it. Matthew Lieberman's team at UCLA found that putting feelings into words is associated with reduced activity in the amygdala and increased activity in a prefrontal region involved in regulation. Naming an emotion appears to partially bring the deliberate system back online, the exact system stress had quieted. This is not a coping platitude. It is the cheapest available way to re-engage the part of your brain that stress just turned down. 2. Ride it instead of fighting it. Cravings behave like waves. They rise, they crest, and left alone, they subside. The mistake is treating a craving as an emergency that must be resolved immediately in one direction or the other. The clinical technique is called urge surfing, and it comes out of the mindfulness-based relapse prevention literature. You do not resist the craving. You observe it. Where is it in your body? Is it in your chest, your jaw, your throat? Is it getting stronger, or has it already peaked? You are not white-knuckling. You are watching. And watching is a prefrontal act, which is the whole point. 3. Decide in advance in writing. This one has the strongest evidence base of anything in this video, and almost nobody uses it. It is called an implementation intention, and the structure is fixed. If X happens, then I will do Y. Peter Gallwitzer's meta-analysis across dozens of studies found a medium to large effect on goal attainment, and the format has been tested specifically on eating behavior. Why it works: it moves the decision out of the moment when your prefrontal cortex is compromised and into a moment when it is not. You are not relying on in-the-moment reasoning. You are handing your stressed brain a pre-written instruction. So, if I walk into the kitchen after 8 and I am not hungry, then I will pour a glass of water and step outside for 2 minutes. Specific cue, specific action, written down, not a vague intention to do better. 4. Stop starting the day already vulnerable. 2 things reliably make the loop stronger before you ever encounter a cue. Sleep is the first. Research has shown that after a night of restricted sleep, activity in frontal regions involved in food decisions drops, while reward-related regions respond more strongly, and people's food choices shift accordingly. Short sleep also shifts the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. If you are sleeping 5 hours, you are not fighting a craving. You are fighting a craving with a handicap. The second is blood sugar. Work from the Predict research group found that people who experience larger dips in blood glucose after eating reported greater hunger afterward and went on to eat more over the following hours. Meals built around protein, fiber, and fat tend to produce a flatter curve than meals built around refined carbohydrate alone. I am not giving you numbers. I am giving you a principle. Skipping meals and eating sugar alone are not neutral choices. They stack the deck. And a note under move. Movement here is not about burning anything. It is about giving the stress response somewhere to go before it arrives at your kitchen. A 10-minute walk after a hard call is not exercise. It is nervous system maintenance. One last thing about time, because expectations are where people quit. Research on habit formation found the time to automaticity varied enormously between people, some weeks, some months, with a median around 2 months. Which means if you interrupt this loop 4 times and it still feels hard, you are not failing. You are on schedule. And remember the medical students. The prefrontal disruption reversed once the stress lifted. That is the real headline of this entire video. What stress does to your regulatory capacity is largely a state, not a permanent condition, and states respond to what you do repeatedly. So you are not broken. You are running a loop that made sense at some point, and every single element of that loop has a documented intervention point. Start with 1. Name the feeling before you open the door. That is it. That is the whole first assignment. Take what serves you. Leave the rest. Consistency beats intensity. Every time. If the stress side of this is the piece that hit hardest, I made a free cortisol reset checklist that walks through regulation practices. The link is below. See you in the next video.